Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to episode number 977. It's episode number 977 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition. Live today from Red Morton Park. Today I have a great topic to discuss. Addressing embarrassment is a topic. Addressing embarrassment will increase your confidence and help you move on. One more time, addressing embarrassment will increase your confidence and help you move on. Before we get to that, I've got a bunch of updates for you folks here that are religious followers of the GNA, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, also known as the GNA Network. Got a lot of great things going on. Episode number 3 is going to be recorded this week of the podcast with my girlfriend Dawn and I. Dawn and Eli take on the world. Episode number 3. We've got a tentative guest. We just need to confirm him. And if that doesn't happen, we'll do something else or have someone else. We're trying to get Robert Reese from the Hot Facts with Robert Reese channel to join us this week. And the following week, tentatively, I have another very special guest. I'm not going to mention his name. He's actually from my Facebook network, but I've known this person for over 30 years. It goes back to my teenage years and his teenage years. And do we have some stories to share for you? He's going to be more than likely on the podcast for episode number 4. If that doesn't happen, he'll do it in May, but he's thinking that next week will be good. So he will let me know. And if you would like to be interviewed on the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, please reach out to me by email. The email's below in the description, eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. Honky Talk Man, great show yesterday morning. Keep cooking. Oh, yesterday morning? Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. I mean, there's going to be no more of that. I mean, there's nothing left to say. We are moving onward and upward. There's a show I was on last night, the God Loves Me channel, GLM. I'm sure you know her if you've been around for a while. You can go to the community wall here on GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development, and I've shared the link. It has, I believe it has over 700 views right now. We talked about a lot of things. The show was about 2 hours and 45 minutes long. Went a lot longer than I expected, but, you know, that's the way these things go sometimes, right? Yeah, thank you for being here, Honky Talk Man. Much from Eli and the GNA. So, the podcast is really beginning to heat up. And, like I've mentioned to everyone, the video version is on YouTube, but we're also on all the podcast networks, including Apple, including Spotify, including Amazon Music, including iHeartRadio, which is one of my lady's favorites. She has a premium subscription to iHeartRadio. Yeah, I love iHeartRadio too. So, I mean, it's really getting some good traction off of YouTube. And even on YouTube, it's really starting to pick up a little bit. It's going to keep growing. And, we want to interview as many people as possible. So who are we looking to interview? It doesn't matter. Everyone is welcome. If you're an entrepreneur, you're welcome. If you're, just an average everyday person that works a day job, a W-2 or salaried corporate day job, even if you're a barista at Starbucks, we would love to interview you because everybody has a story. And we want to hear your story. And we want to learn more about you. We want to learn more about you and what you do, because here's the thing. We can all learn from everyone's story, regardless of who you are or where you come from, regardless of what you do for a living, or even if you're not working, even if you're on disability. We would love to interview you as well. Oh, another person I'm working with, and he's somebody that has been a part of the network for a while. He goes by the name of Carl. His channel on YouTube is Disabled But Deathly, or Deadly. He switches it back and forth. And Carl is a pretty interesting guy. We're trying to find a time to do a future podcast episode together. So that should be coming up within the next month or so. We've got a lot of great stuff coming. So, keep it locked here. That's the update right now for the podcast. And besides that, I also do want to. Carl's a weird dude. Hey, GLM, how are you doing? Yeah, when I get your other channel unblocked, we can moderate that channel over here. Thank you for making me a moderator on your channel last night. Much appreciated. And thank you again for having me on your show. Still working with Team YouTube. They got back to me again today, and still working with them. We're going to figure it out. It's never been like this before. Typically when I've Google blocked someone, you can go to your Google block list of that channel in your Google account with that email address. And then you find the channel, and then you just click off it, and it's done. But your channel's not even showing up, but you are Google blocked. So they're going to have to do something on their end to refresh their server or something like that. Give me a second here. Whoosh, whoosh. Hey, Eli, I'm chilling with some Modelos, listening to you. Hey, man, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a Smirnoff Ice tonight, or one of those. I don't drink all too often, but every now and then, a little something special every now and then to take the edge off. Not a bad thing. So glad you're enjoying your Modelo. Well, hi there, Don. Don is here, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Hey, guys. Hey, Eli, how you doing? Doing quite well. Talk, man, I'm drinking real American beer. Okay. MGD, Budweiser, Coors. Not Miller High Life, right? Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, it's great to see, so many people here tonight. Another update. Sandra, is that Sandra? That's Amelia. Amelia, how are you doing? Amelia, thank you for being here. Did you hear? How you doing, guys? What up? Amelia, I think you saw that we're trying to get Robert on the podcast this week. And since you're here, because you both have moderator wrenches, since you're here, what do you think about that? Do you think we can spare any? Amelia, you're also welcome to join us on the podcast. I don't think you're going to want to do that, but you're more than we would love to have you. I mean, we would love to have both you and Robert. You both can come on audio only. You don't have to show your faces. You can if you want. But it's a good exposure opportunity because not only does it go on YouTube on video, it goes, I don't know if you've heard, it goes throughout the entire podcast network: Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, which is one of my lady's favorites, and all the rest of them. Even the ones that are unknown, it's going through the whole thing. Hey, Don. Hey, GLM. Hulk Hogan's beer. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life. I found out that Terry Hulk Hogan is conservative. I think he voted for Trump. And here's the thing. I'm a big Hogan fan. I love Hogan. I grew up watching Hogan and Andre the Giant, God rest his soul, right? The early days of Vince McMahon and all that, right? And yeah, it is what it is, Like, I still have love for people despite their political party, choice. It all depends how they treat people in general, right? Hogan is on the right side of things. Okay. Well, I just said that, GLM. Yeah, that was your no pun intended joke. Hogan is on the right side of things, right? Well, what I was going to say a second ago, before we get into the topic here, is that, yesterday, I mentioned this on your show, GLM. Yesterday was Liberation Day, and today the stock market crashed. The Dow Jones was down almost 1,700 points. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500 were also down a ton. The futures also don't look good. It's going to keep going down based on the uncertainty by your Lord, Savior, and Messiah, Donald J. Trump, that you voted into office. It's all good. I mean, look, our 401ks and IRAs, individual retirement accounts, yeah, we don't give a shit if Trump's like taking money out of our retirement. Yeah, well, yeah, maybe by the time we retire, it'll rebound and we'll make that money. We'll see. But it's not even the stock market that I'm worried about. These tariffs are going to increase prices across the board. These tariffs are stupid. I've never seen any president create so much uncertainty, even amongst the people that voted him in. And that's the surreal thing about this whole thing, right? And Mr. Donald J. Trump is losing his ass in court. I heard about that, Mayor Eric Adams in New York. They tried to they tried to get his case dismissed without prejudice, so they can hold it over his head and control him politically. And the judge, he's an Asian dude. I can't remember his name. Somebody, if you remember his name, remind me. A very, very wonderful Asian judge basically said, "Fuck you, Trump. And fuck you to the prosecutor. We're going to dismiss this case with prejudice, so you can't hold it over his head." So basically, Trump let the mayor of New York get away with, figuratively speaking, murder, and now can get nothing out of it because the judge dismissed the case with prejudice. I mean, man, I've never met a more litigious man than Trump. I've never met a man that does things to incite so many lawsuits. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think Trump is going to be in court throughout his entire second term. But anyway, I digress. Enough said about that, right? Hogan and Thumper. So Hogan and Trumper were friends since the 80s. I know he's on the right. He's on the right. I know. Wish. I only vote for candidates that support the right of the unborn to be born, and Hulk agrees with that. Crypto keeps sinking in value. Well, when there's uncertainty in the overall market, crypto's gonna fail too. Crypto's gonna sink too. It's gonna tank as well, right? I mean, Trump is saying, look, we might take a little bit of the hit early on, but in the long run, everyone's going to win. Well, when's that going to happen? Is that going to happen anytime in the next month or two when people can't afford to buy groceries or put gas in their car or pay for health care and all that? I mean, people need stuff right now. And the thing is, not only is that happening, he's trying to take away, Medicaid and all that stuff from people that depend on that every single month. I look forward to watching Chris Como on News Nation when I go home later tonight and have dinner with my lady and our dogs. We didn't get a chance to watch the show last night, but tonight I want to hear what he has to say about the stock market and all of this stuff. But anyway, united we stand, divided we fall. Yeah, that's true, GLM. Wish, I'm really considering retiring in Thailand. I'll get some 25 Asian girl to cook my meals, clean my house, and love me long time, plus my American dollar, or dala, right? Goes farther there. Well, I mean, you're right about that. Your money will go farther there. And yeah, I mean, if you want to settle for some 25-year-old woman from Thailand that, is going to pretend to love you a long time because of your money, because you're going to walk in there like some baller because your money is going to be worth more there, then if that's what floats your boat. That's what floats your boat. And I've heard many guys have done that over the last, 7 years or so since I've been doing this pretty much full time on YouTube. So yeah, whatever works for you, right, man? Still GLM says, Wish says, Hockey Talk Man is laughing. Wish says companies will have to build new factories. It will take several years. That's what they're saying, dude. They're saying that, we're going to start building here and jobs, jobs have declined tremendously, but they're saying that we're going to have an incredible amount of jobs about to pop up. We're going to start building all these factories. And all the people I watch out here that have been talking about this are saying you're not going to put up new buildings and have new jobs created in 24 hours. This is going to take years. It's going to take years before this happens. People need help right now. What's going to happen in the meantime? I mean, are we going to take a massive hit on everything for years to rebuild and try to bring manufacturing back here to the U.S.? And then we're going to have more jobs that we're going to have to pay these people more money, which means the same stuff we've been getting from China is going to cost literally 4 to 5 times as much. Those $20 items that you're getting, from China are going to be like $99.99. Like, I got some nice tools from my Dyson V6 cordless battery-powered vacuum cleaner, Chinese. Like, one of the parts from Dyson cost $20. Not $20, sorry. One of the parts from Dyson costs it was like $40, $45. I got that part and like 5 other parts in the box, same quality, for like under $20. This is what people don't understand. If we don't pay for it one way, we're going to pay for it another way. And are we really making progress? We're really not making any progress by doing it that way. Give me a second. I'll get out of the sun here, and then I'll check out the chat. The cost of living is so high because of Biden. Why aren't you upset with Biden for doing this instead of Trump for not fixing it fast enough? The cost of living did not increase under Biden. That's false information, GLM. GLM, the economy was at an all-time high when Biden left office. The stock market was at an all-time high. Everything was left, you know, in great hands. And even if Trump did nothing, it would have kept a great economy going. Well, I mean, why are you trying to fix what doesn't need fixing? The only thing we needed to work on was trying to find a way to balance the deficit and balance the budget. And that is true. And finding efficiency in the government, not a bad idea. It's just the way it's being executed is not the right way. And it's created more uncertainty in our country than ever before. Waiting for that car to pass. But Ed, you're entitled to your opinion. It's cool. Critical times ahead for the working classes, Amelia. I suggest you wait 6 months and see the data on the effects of those tariffs on inflation. Well, we're going to start seeing those effects next month or within a couple of weeks. You think it's going to take 6 months for those tariffs to increase in price? Now, it may take 6 months for, the new product to, get hit with the tariffs, but companies and distributors and retailers are gonna increase the price on the current product as well. They're gonna start increasing prices now. So we're gonna be paying higher prices on product that didn't have the tariff on it, the tariff tax. I mean, come on. You folks don't see this. Anyway, we're not here to even talk about that today. Most of the country didn't think the economy was good. They had a poll after poll for a year leading up to the election. Well, that's what you're hearing from the right, Whoosh. Listen, you're hearing that from the big podcast people that are primarily, MAGAs. It's all the MAGAs. It's Fox News, Newsmax. It's, the MAGA... the MAGA podcasters out here on YouTube with the big headphones, like Chris Como says. They have the big headphones, right? And the big microphones and all that, right? I got big headphones and a big microphone too, but I don't sit there and spew misinformation. You see, you folks are going to believe whatever you hear because that's what the majority of the people that, like Trump, are saying, right? That doesn't necessarily mean what they're saying is true, right? But anyway, I digress. We're not here to talk about that. It's all good. We got 50 in the box. Thank you for being here. China has a tariff of 54% now. Maybe Walmart will find other sources of goods from other countries. Well, that's ridiculous. I like Walmart. I get insured from Walmart, something that, has been critical for my girlfriend to help her nutrition get back on track, and it has helped her. And I get a lot of other great stuff from Walmart. I don't want to have to pay more. And I believe Insure is an American company, but even things that aren't imported are gonna get hit. Everything's gonna get hit. Everything's gonna get hit. You should start selling bobbleheads with the hat and microphone. Nah, maybe so. So, Amelia, I don't know if you heard, I invited your husband, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, onto the podcast to record the episode 3 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. He may have told you, he may have not. But do you think that sometime this weekend, Sunday preferably in the morning or early afternoon, would be best for us? But, if Robert is available anytime this weekend. Even, even tomorrow sometime or Saturday. Saturday would be good. Sunday's preferred, but we really think that this would be a really good episode and would really, really get things firing up on all cylinders. Plus, him and I have a lot of stuff to talk about. We can maybe even lead into a show that we do on his channel. Give me a second here. Give me just 1 second here. One of the neighbors has their radio on pretty loud outside, so I just wanted to be respectful, And it's also distracting. Yeah, I used to be a truck driver. I traveled the country. I saw one abandoned factory after another. Trump wants to bring it all back. I say, let him try and give him our full support. Yeah, but Woosh, that's gonna. If we start to manufacture more things here in the U.S., we're gonna have to pay people way more than what people are paid in China to manufacture the same stuff. And you're gonna see prices double, maybe triple. But you're not gonna see wages go up, but prices will double or triple, right? You're not gonna see the minimum wage go up. And it's just, you find you want to bring more jobs here to manufacture products that are now affordable, and you're going to basically double or triple the cost of those products, the same ones that are made in China. Because you want to bring more manufacturing here, and I mean, why fix what's broken? Like, this is ridiculous. I don't care if you're left, right, down the middle. It's just ridiculous. The system is not broken. Don't fuck with the system that's been working. Anyway. I've seen all the people homeless out here. Hot Facts with Robert Reese is in the house. How you doing, brother? Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Your wife Emilia's here. I've been trying to ask her about the podcast. Don and I want to have you on our podcast this week for episode number 3. We record these on Sundays typically, but if you're available for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and it's going to be, live on tape. It's not going to be live. I'm good for Sunday. Whoa, episode number 3 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast is Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Robert, I told your wife if she wants to join the babe. There's my lady there. If Amelia wants to be on as well, that's no problem. And here's the thing, Robert. You can come on video or audio only. If you want to bring on your wife, or you can be on video and she can be by your side and talking as well too, off camera. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it. But we have the video on YouTube, the main channel, below in the description, the main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development, and then it goes through the entire podcast network. And here's the thing, Robert, there's a lot of things we can do. We could even get, Hot Facts with Robert Reese as a podcast too. Like, dude, there's a lot of shit we can do that will just further the messages, because, you have a good message, Robert, and you get down to the bottom of things, and we like that. Why don't you tell Robert what you were telling me about Robert, babe, the other day? Oh, this is fantastic. You heard it here. Yeah, it's on StreamYard. So what we do is we'll bring you, just like, it'll be on StreamYard, but it'll be pre-recorded. So you'll come on StreamYard. I'll send you the link. And, you can come on video. You can come on audio only. It's up to you. You can bring on your wife. And if she wants to join you on video, she can. If not, she can be by your side and be audio only. Whatever you guys want. Because, we're also going to talk about the GNA executive team. And we'll talk a few minutes before we start recording, Robert. And we'll catch you up. But, yeah, I'm really fired up about this, man. This is good shit. And then we could probably lead into a show on your channel about the flex situation. We actually talked a little bit about it last night. GLM interviewed me on her channel. We caught up for 2 hours and 45 minutes last night. It was a bit longer than I expected, but yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. That's cool. We've Hot Facts with Robert Reese on the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. It will be recorded on Sunday and be released this coming Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on the other channel, GNA, Genuine Live Personal Development, and throughout the entire audio podcast network. Yeah, and feel free, once we get it done, Robert, feel free to clip it all you want. Feel free to clip it all you want, monetize it. You have our blessing because we trust you. Whatever you want to do, man. It's all good. That's called collaboration, folks. We'll do another show on collaboration at some point. But I'm on the second lap, and I want to really get into today's topic, which is Robert Reese is the Junkyard Dog's Honky Tonk Man. Robert Reese should be the brand ambassador of the GNA. Well, he's gonna be on the executive team. And I forgot we had a title for him and his wife. I wrote it down at home. I'll look into it. But you're right about that. He is a pretty good brand ambassador. I mean, he's good at reporting stuff and getting into the thick of things. So it's gonna be a good show. I'm looking forward to this. Give me a second here. So, keep getting messages here. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to be talking about overcoming embarrassment. And how overcoming embarrassment will truly, truly build up your self-confidence and help you overcome things, right? There are many people. I wouldn't even say many people. I would say everyone, every single person out there has had many embarrassing moments in life, both offline and now even online. And I think what more so happens nowadays, from what I've seen and what I've personally experienced, and I've made these mistakes, we've all done embarrassing, dumb shit on platforms like YouTube out here, right? And when you do those dumb, embarrassing things, the moment you put it out there, even if you delete that video, somebody already has probably screen recorded it or downloaded it and is uploading it and re-uploading it 100 times. That happens. That absolutely happens. Oh, are some of the MAGAs coming in here and getting triggered? I don't give a fuck about what happened almost 100 years ago. What I care about is what's happening right now, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter what happened 80, 90, 100 years ago. You know, a lot of these MAGAs are stuck on the past. You know, they're stuck on the past, right? And because they're, you know, they're getting crushed right now, Democrats are coming back and just standing up to all the dumb shit that their Lord, Savior, and Messiah, Donald J. Trump, is doing that they voted in, right? These MAGAs are now getting triggered out here on the internet, right? They're not able to have reasonable conversations. They're not able to have reasonable conversations. And that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? And people can believe what they want to believe, and they can discredit what they want to discredit, right? So, everybody's had an embarrassing moment, including myself. You know, when I first came onto YouTube, I was excited. I loved it. And I had been on YouTube since it came out, but this was my first attempt at being a real YouTuber 7 years ago. And still GLM says, speaking of politics getting crushed, did you see that woke Snow White flopped and cost Disney like $300 million? No, I did not. Well, Don can tell you that I like Disney, but I do think they're quite a bit woke. Especially what they did with the Little Mermaid. They made her half white, half black, which is, listen, I don't care. But the bottom line is, you know, the original Snow White was white, and they're going way out of their way to try to show diversity, which is making them look worse than not doing anything at all, right? They're overdoing it, right? I get why they're doing it, but I was like, I watched that movie. Don and I saw that movie in the theater. The Little Mermaid, and we loved the movie. It was a good movie, but we're like, that was so woke. I mean, listen, I'm a left-leaning Democrat, you know, slight left, right? And even I'm saying that shit was too woke for me. So when you've got a liberal saying, you know, I'm more so down the middle, but I'm more left-leaning. When you have a liberal saying that was woke, then yeah, I agree with you, GLM. I agree with you. And Don, listen, we love Disney. But yeah, they've gotten really, really woke. Gotten really, really woke. But, oh well, it is what it is, right? In 30 years, the woke goofies will say Eli was really black. Probably, dude. Robert, if you and Amelia are still around, I will email you folks the StreamYard link and all the information tomorrow. At the email on your channel, right, Robert and Amelia, the email in the About section of the Hot Facts with Robert Reese channel, right? That's still your current email, right? Or you can email me at eliasmelas at januarynetworkingassociation.org. But, you know, we've all done embarrassing things, right? Oh, God, this is Amelia. Thank you, Amelia. Appreciate that. Amelia, and again, you're more than welcome. If you want to sit on the side, you know, and be audio only, or if you want to join them on camera, it's up to you. Whatever you want to do, but we would love to have you. And I see your postings, Amelia, and you make a lot of sense. But I don't know. Maybe Amelia doesn't want to get get caught in the line of fire more than she probably already is. It's all good. Thank you, Amelia. Appreciate it. You and Robert. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for accepting our offer. We will do whatever it takes to promote you throughout the network, and you know, we've got our Facebook network. There's a much bigger network outside of YouTube that we have, and we're going to share you through that whole entire network, and we're going to help you folks connect with some really, really great people. Amelia says, slowly but surely. That's right. That's absolutely right. So yeah, we've all done embarrassing things, including myself. A lot of times we do those things without realizing them, right? And like I've said many times in the past, I've said some things on some live stream panels because some more experienced YouTubers during that time, 6-7 years ago, knew what they had to do to trigger anyone to get that kind of reaction. And then once you do it, that's some people will use that against you forever, and that's just the way it goes, right? Is it embarrassing? Absolutely. But at some point, you got to sit there and say, okay, I fucked up, own it, apologize, and then move on. And if people are going to not accept your apology, then they can go fuck themselves. That's how you got to think, right? Because real decent people understand that everyone makes mistakes. And if you sincerely apologize for your mistakes, any normal human being would forgive you. Okay? For most things that you do. Right? Or do that are wrong, right? Or do that are stupid or embarrassing, right? And I think that is the problem with a lot of people I've encountered in life, online and offline, is that they're embarrassed by things that they've done in the past. They're embarrassed by things that they've done in the past. I'll get to your message in a second, Amelia. And, it really, like happiness, even happiness triggers people that are embarrassed by certain things from the past, right? Like, I'll give an example here in a second, right? I'll give you an example here in a second because it's a pretty good example. It's just going to be, a hypothetical situation, right? But before we get to that, Honky Tonk Man, Amelia reminds me of Rocky's wife in the movie Rocky. Yo, Adrian, we did it. Amelia, the DoorDash community hasn't been very accepting of me because of my husband, but I'm okay with that. Not everyone is for you. Well, here's the thing. We accept you, and here's the thing. A lot of the people in the DoorDash community on YouTube, Amelia, are not even, really DoorDash creators. They're drama, WHORES. You know that. These people, are all about drama. Right? How are they teaching people how to make money on DoorDash, right? And how many times can you say the same thing about DoorDash, right? Now, at least with Robert, he brands his channel as Hot Facts with Robert Reese. He is the gig economy news channel, but he's also the news channel for other things too. And, the way Robert set up his channel, leaves him a lot of opportunity, a lot of room to even rebrand and just make him, the social media news channel, right? Or something like that, like the news outlet of the entire social media. That'd be probably a really good rebrand. But yeah, within the DoorDash community, these people, I mean, how many times can you say acceptance rate matters? It doesn't matter, no tip, no trip. How many times can you say the same shit, right? How many times do the programs change? Maybe once a year it changes. We talk about it for about, a week or two, and then it's the same old shit, right? So, you got people in these communities that know that, and unless they're having these drama shit show panels, kind of like what Mr. Flex does, then they're not going to get anyone showing up, right? I think you know that. But we accept you here. And there are a lot of nice people that I have on Facebook and stuff. Amelia and Robert, you folks may want to connect with Don and I on Facebook. And, we can communicate more regularly behind the scenes through Messenger and stuff. Yes, and I play along with it. I take their opinions with a grain of salt. Well, that's good. I've learned to do that as well, even though a lot of their opinions aren't even worth as much as a piece of my own shit, Amelia. And I'm really sorry to be that frank about it, but it's true. Like, the shit that comes out of my asshole, and that may sound very unprofessional, is more enlightening to me than any one of their opinions. And I don't know about you folks, but my shit is nasty. I mean, let's be real about it, right? Everyone's shit stinks, right? It is what it is. Honky Tonk Man, you like that? You like that, man? That's the truth of the matter, for Christ's sake, right? um, let me see. Did I miss any messages? No. We got 49 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so basically, I've learned to just not let anything embarrass me anymore. And I'll tell you, when I was much younger, in my teens and 20s, and even my early to mid 30s, I was more prone to be embarrassed for a longer period of time. And as I started to get into my mid to late 30s and early 40s, I started to have the attitude of having no shame. And I feel that's where everyone needs to get to in order to be able to let all of your past shit go, let all of your past trauma go, so that way you can get over what's affecting, your attitude, what's affecting your behavior, right? Because, I see a lot of people out here on YouTube and even in the real world and other platforms. Like I see this behavior that doesn't really make any sense, right? I'm going to share a story here of an example, right? I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. I'm going to share a story here in a second where, me being very nice to someone upset, the lady in this relationship, right? And it really shouldn't have upset her, right? And I'll share this with you more here in a second, right? And again, this is just for example purposes. This is, no names are going to be mentioned, and it's just to prove a point here, right? With embarrassment comes humility, which builds character. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that, Honky Tonk Man. Absolutely. So, I've been friends with guys before. Guys before out here on YouTube that have a significant other. And their significant other, is a semi-YouTuber, right? And the significant other, connected me with, the boyfriend, because they felt that, it would be a good connection, similar business sense, similar outlook on life, right? And all that, right? So let's say, this woman connects me with her man, right? I have a conversation with her man, and it's one of the best conversations I've had in a while. I come to find out that this man is is a very good guy, has made decent money. And listen, it's not about the amount of money. He's made millions, but that doesn't matter as long as he's stable and is able to financially provide for himself and his family. But I mean, this is a really, really good person, and was very motivational, inspirational, and uplifting to me. And I felt the need to acknowledge that, I felt the need to acknowledge that, right? So I'm the kind of person that likes to do certain good things for people when they're positive. It's called edifying. Look up the word edify, EDIFY on YouTube, right? We used to do this when I used to run in-person G&A events. We used to edify people through the network that had displayed trustworthiness, consistency, and we just loved who they were. They were also very empathetic people. We would edify those people and say, yeah, that John person or that Jackie lady, she's amazing. You need to connect with her, right? So there's nothing wrong with edifying, meaning praising someone and complimenting them, right? Right? Now, the woman in this case did not want any mention of her boyfriend. Did not want any mention of her boyfriend online, even in a positive way. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this makes no fucking sense. Like, this is a positive thing, and saying, hey, look, you got a great guy. Thank you for connecting me with him. I wanted to publicly share this because, wow, what an awesome person, right? Do you want to know something? This particular woman, the reason why she didn't want me to even mention this man, even in a positive way, is because she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed because this man has been providing everything for her, her children, and all that, right? And this woman has also, cheated on this guy many times. It's been publicly made known, and she's embarrassed by that, right? As anyone would be embarrassed by that, but at some point, you got to let that go because you're the one that made that mistake, right? You see, that's the thing, right? And this is a great example because we've all done things like this that are going to affect us until we learn how to work through them, right? That means you have to work through the embarrassment. That means you got to come and say, look, I fucked up. I banged another guy while I have an amazing man that's taking care of me. And without him, I'd be homeless. I would have no food. My kids would have no care. I should be more grateful, thankful, and appreciative of what this man has done for me, right? That's the embarrassment right there, right? So the truth of the matter is, for example, me saying the nicest things in the world about this dude, which there's nothing wrong with that. No one's going to... Hold on a second. She is embarrassed and insecure. I would have to agree with that. But those are opinions. Those are opinions. Hey, babe, those are opinions, right? But me even talking about this man in the most respectful way possible. Okay? Any normal woman that had a man that she really loved and appreciated and that she connected another man on YouTube with that is saying great things about her man, she would be like, wow, thank you, Eli, for acknowledging how wonderful my man is. You see, instead of this woman coming out and saying, fuck all of you, this is my man, and I love him, and I'm glad that, Eli and him have connected, and all the great, wonderful things Eli is saying about him, is why I'm with him. That's what any normal woman would do. Not in this case, right? Because of embarrassment. So how do you rectify this situation? Number one, you got to stop giving a shit about what anyone thinks about you. Everyone's made mistakes. Everyone's made mistakes. But if you're going to care more about what some other low-life, trashy, degenerate scumbag people on the internet are going to think about you over what's actually true and what you actually care for, and over people that truly respect you and your man, right? Then the problem lies within yourself, right? And see, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit there and pretend like everything is all hunky-dory just to keep a roof over your head, food in your stomach, and your kids taken care of, when the truth of the matter is you're miserable and you're embarrassed, and that's why, right? And that's why, in that situation, if you're so embarrassed over your own man getting public, happy, good recognition, then you should never connect anyone with that man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Listen, this is just an example, okay? This is an example of a story, okay? We don't have to get too far into it. The point I'm trying to make here is there are many people that have done embarrassing things, and until they tackle those embarrassing things head on and overcome them, right? They're going to be living a lie. They're going to be living a life of misery. And they're going to be extremely unreasonable, right? You see, I will tell you something. I'm one man that has been gaslit online and offline more times than both my fingers and toes combined. Times probably 100, right? So, when people are going to try to gaslight me, right, and then make me look bad, when the truth of the matter is that they're embarrassed over their own actions and it's affecting them from living a normal life, you got to get over it. You got to get over it, because if you don't, it's going to affect you and everyone you care for. It's going to affect you from doing the right things, not just for yourself, but for everyone in your family. That includes your kids. And I'm not here trying to talk about kids in a negative way. Listen, sometimes we need to talk about kids because kids are important. I have respect for women who cheat on good men. They are ungrateful and wreck their families and homes. You mean you have no respect? No respect. I agree, because I believe the same thing happened to you and some other people in the MGTOW community. And I understand why you guys are angry and bitter, but the bottom line is that a lot of times women will cheat when they're not feeling that romantic connection with the man, but they stick around with the man because he's a good provider, financially, and that's it. He's a good financial provider. They call that the beta male provider. You know what I'm talking about. You remember the phrase, the beta male provider, whoosh, whoosh, right? Now, I'm not calling this necessarily, or this man necessarily a beta male. I don't think he is. But he really cares about this woman so much, and he knows exactly what's going on, right? But yes, he's so empathetic and has such a huge heart. Another thing I respect about this man, right? That he doesn't have the courage to kick this woman out. And quite honestly, any woman that would do stuff like that, in my opinion, I mean, if I was in that situation, that woman would have been out a long time ago. I wouldn't tolerate that shit. No man should have to tolerate that, right? We've all done embarrassing things. I've done embarrassing things, and you know what? I keep coming back every day, no matter how embarrassing some of those things may be, right? I've got a girlfriend here. That's what this dog. Oh, that's a deep bark. Every time I go home after these walks, the big dog is like barking and is excited to see me and wants to jump on me, and he jumps on me with all his force. He's a really strong dog. Even our little dog, Buster, he's 15 pounds. He's pretty strong. You have to lay the law down as a man. Well, I think both men and women need to lay the law down if the other side is being disrespectful. In my opinion, this woman is extremely disrespecting and has been disrespecting this man. In this example, for example purposes, that is. You know what I'm saying, right? And that's what's creating a massive amount of embarrassment for her. And so, she carries on doing the YouTube stuff, right? Like nothing is happening, right? She carries on like nothing is happening, right? Living free of charge in this man's house. And then, in addition, she can run her mouth about other people, right? But not accept responsibility for her own actions because she's embarrassed. The reason why she's embarrassed is because of the choices that she made. And we've all made bad choices in the past, but how are we going to work past them and work through them if we can't just come out and say, hey, I fucked up? Instead of projecting that onto other people that you perceive to be in a better place than you, right? And that's the easy way out. That's called the cop-out, right? Right? And no one in this situation wants to hear this, but it's the truth of the matter, right? And this is what triggers people. But let me tell you something. You want to know when I've made the most changes in my life? Is when I'm triggered. Because I'll tell you what, if somebody can trigger me so badly regarding something, that usually means that they've nailed my issue and I need to fix that. Now, that's not 100% true in every case, but in most cases that's true. Whenever someone's triggered you beyond belief, like super fucking triggered, like you see some people on some live stream panels out here get really triggered. I've been one of them in the past. It's typically because they hit a nerve about something that's true, and that should be your telltale sign of needing something or of something you need to work on. All right? But if you keep on putting a pacifier over it, or you keep on trying to avoid even acknowledging the situation, it's never going to change. And, you're going to be living your life always worried that someone's going to be talking about, let's say in this case, your boyfriend, even in a positive way, and then having other people on YouTube that know the story as well, talk about how you cheated on your man and this and that and blah, 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 right? Well, you put yourself in that position, right? If you do public content on YouTube, you talk about things, right? If you've associated with people in the past, that know the whole story or have been involved with you, right? It doesn't matter what you say or do. That story will always be there. But maybe if you come out and one time accept responsibility for what you've done. Like people say, Eli, accept responsibility for what you done. I do. What have I done? What have I not accepted responsibility for? I've accepted responsibility for everything, right? And here's the thing. If my issues are with other people, let's say outside of YouTube or whatever, I don't know anyone anything. I don't have to respond to anything that doesn't involve any particular individual person. Okay? In this situation, in my example, I talk about it because in this situation, it has involved me. Right? It has involved me. And, in this example, this particular type of person has tried to make me look bad. When the truth of the matter is that they're embarrassed. They want to silence me from praising their man because they're embarrassed that the real truth of the matter is going to get out. Oh well. I've made mistakes on YouTube and in the real world, and people have talked about these mistakes for years. They still talk about them. I've chosen to work through that. I've chosen to not let it affect me, right? Because I've allowed the embarrassment to let go. Yeah, sure. Even at age 51, being as experienced as I am, and as most 51 years old, and as most 51-year-olds would be expected to be pretty experienced at that age. Even with that amount of experience at age 51, we're still going to make mistakes that are embarrassing. But as you get older, you should be able to say, oh, fuck, I fucked up. This is embarrassing. But you know what? I got to stand tall. Come out and apologize. Because what am I going to do? Try to cover up the embarrassing act, which is obvious, right? And then lose the respect of people that have been respecting me and appreciate me. You see, when you try to cover up an embarrassing mistake, you're more so embarrassing yourself, and people know you're full of shit. And they're going to lose even more respect for you. So why would you want to put yourself in that position? The best thing to do is to own it and work through it and just apologize. And say, wow, you know what? I do have a really good man that loves me, that would do anything for me. He would jump in front of a train for me, right? Right? He would catch a grenade for you. He would throw his hand on the blade for you. He would jump in front of a train for you. He'd do anything for you. And he'd go through all this pain and even take a bullet straight through his brain. And girl, he would die for you. But you won't do the same. Right? Right? Now listen. That's a little Bruno right there. BM, right? Bruno Mars, right? In case you're wondering. I'm sure most of you knew that have been around for a while, right? Might be a little funny, maybe a little entertaining, right? I keep telling my lady's the same. Elon Musk. The Elon Musk sock account. Anything you do on video is forever. That's correct, right? Easy come, easy go. That's just how it is. Oh, take it all, but you never again. Should have known you was trouble from the first kiss. Had your eyes wide open. Why were they open? This is how I feel this guy feels. Gave you all my love and you tossed it in the trash. You tossed it in the trash, you did. To give me all your love is all I ever asked. Right? I butchered that, but you get the point, right? Enough, babe? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Am I having a little too much fun tonight, baby? It's a good show, huh? Baby, you like Bruno Mars, don't you? Babe, you know I would catch a grenade for you and throw my hand on a blade for you, jump in front of a train for you. I'd do anything for you, right? I'd go through all this pain and take a bullet straight through my brain, right, girl? I would die for you, baby. But see, at least I know you do the same for me. So I'm not going to say the last line because I know you and I, Dawn, babe, we have mutual respect for each other, right? But see, when there's no mutual respect, things can become embarrassing, right? Love Bruno, but stop what you're doing. I'll stop singing. It's all good. I could not think of a better example about feeling embarrassed, feeling ashamed, right? I know what you're saying, babe. It was romantic, says Casual Observer. Hey, Casual Observer, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. I get the point, babe. Listen, I completely understand, right? But sometimes, in order to drive the point home, you got to share the right example. And I think today, ooh, small penis syndrome. Okay, yeah. Rev it up in the parking lot, man. Just like Flex driving in reverse to the length of a parking lot, right? These guys nowadays, man, they need major help. They need our help, man. God, man. Well, we're on the final stretch of the third lap here. We got 57 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, like I said, every one of us has had a lot of embarrassing moments. But you can't let those embarrassing moments define you and to continue taking over your better judgment. You've got to find a way to forgive yourself. You've got to find a way to, ask for forgiveness and basically not be afraid to share with people that you messed up, especially if you did it publicly on the internet. You've got to publicly apologize, especially if it's a known public thing. You've got to publicly apologize and own it. And that's when people will start respecting you, right? And appreciating you. And maybe even start to see you in a different light, right? In my younger days, especially before I turned 30, I had difficulty accepting responsibility. I had difficulty admitting embarrassing things that I did. It starts with you. That's right, babe. Narcissists never apologize. Well, like my woman was saying, babe, I think you were saying on our last podcast. Let me see. There was a YouTube update, and it's still backwards. God. Anyway, got to keep rolling. You were saying on our last podcast that no, it was our first podcast, I think, when we were sharing that email where that guy called me a narcissist, and I think you were saying that we all have a little narcissism within us, and I would agree with that. Some people have too much pride. I agree with you, babe, but even those people that may have too much pride, they're more so embarrassed about what they did, and they don't want to be confronted on it. And until they confront it and they're okay with it and ask for forgiveness and stop being ashamed of it, it's never going to change. Their life is not going to change. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, yes, we all have a lot of pride, and we don't want people to think that we're a fuck up, but the truth of the matter is we're all fuck ups. Everyone, even successful people, we're all fuck ups, right? There's nothing wrong with being a fuck up as long as you can identify the fuck ups and work on them and become better. See, we're more worried about what people are going to say about us on the internet and in the real world than actually digging deep and solving the problem within ourselves, right? Because when you get to the level of where I've gotten to, and maybe where Robert's gotten to, and now Emilia's gotten there, and my girlfriend Dawn's gotten there, right? Nothing will bother you when you get to that point, when you have that amount of self-love, right? And no matter what anyone does or says to you, it doesn't affect you anymore. That's when you know. That's when you know you've gotten really strong, and you know what? You're going to understand that everyone makes mistakes, including you, and there's nothing embarrassing about it as long as you own it and just say, I fucked up, apologize, move on. And the more and more you try to cover it up, the more embarrassing it becomes, and the worse you look, right? Right? And here's the thing, this is really good advice. I'm not trying to say I'm all that, but this is really good advice. And for people that are dealing with this situation currently, when they hear advice like this, instead of saying, Eli, you're making sense, I'm going to start focusing on myself. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to own it. I'm going to start being respectful, to my other half, whatever, right? Instead of doing that, they're going to sink further the other way because they don't want to own up to what they've done. Because they're still ashamed and embarrassed. And they care more about what people on the fucking internet think about them than someone that's been one hell of a provider for them and their kids. It's really a fucking shame, right? It's really a fucking shame, right? That's all. All right, start getting your final questions, comments, and concerns in the chat. We're going to be going off the air in just about 5 minutes or less. My lady and I are having Mexican tonight, right, baby? We're going to go pick up some Mexican food nearby and spend some quality time with the beautiful lady waiting for me at home and the dogs. Today I used a little Bissell. I did the rugs. I'm learning how to balance my days out so the Bissells no longer burn me out, but it's a lot of work. We have a lot of cleanup to do. And I'll tell you, Don was even saying, that lemon eucalyptus for the little, we have the big Bissell for the deep carpets and the little Bissell for the area rugs and the floors, the hardwood floors and the tile, right? And I have different formulas, but my favorite one is the one for pet urine. It cleans up pet urine really well, and it also prevents remarking, right, from the dogs, right? And it's lemon eucalyptus, and that lemon eucalyptus smells amazing. Even the dogs were sniffing it today, and they're like, ooh, Ooh, I like that lemon eucalyptus. The dogs were talking, right? I make fun of the dogs. I have like my dog voice, right? Don's gotten used to that, right? I have like the Bochi voice. Like I talk like Bochi. So when Bochi is the bigger dog is looking at Don, I'm doing Bochi voice, and Bochi's talking to Don. I tell you, dogs are very therapeutic in dating relationships. I've done many videos on that before, and we'll do them again. Yeah, we will. GLM, are you still here? I don't think she is. But yeah, before we go, Amelia, if you could send me an email. If not, I'll send you and Robert an email tomorrow. And even if you send me one tonight, I'll get back to you tomorrow. And then I'll send you the StreamYard link and the information. And yeah, this is going to be a hell of a show. And Robert, you can talk about whatever you want. Same with you, Amelia. We want to hear your story. We want to hear, the YouTube stuff. We want to hear the whole thing. And I'll tell you, Dawn, tell me, babe, that you're excited to have Hot Facts with Robert Reese on episode number 3. Can you believe that? Like my lady was saying, you think we're going to be able to get Robert this week because he's been very busy. And I'm like, we're busy too, babe. Sometimes we go AWOL, absent without approved leave. Well, when you're in a relationship, it better be approved, and it better be with your partner. But you get what I'm saying. Sometimes we go AWOL for a little while, but yeah, we're back. So, yeah, she goes very excited, and Amelia says, "I'm driving now. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can." No, don't worry about it, Amelia. You be safe. You have that. You have it on your Bluetooth. Have it on your Bluetooth. I'm sure you're listening to it on Bluetooth, and be safe, okay? Take your time, but I know we're good. The big man on campus was here earlier, Hot Facts with Robert Reese, and this is going to be really good. You should be like Jay and branch out and do shows, but instead of food reviews, review your Bissell before and after. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to do product reviews. We may get some sponsors on here eventually, but I don't know. Maybe we will do some product reviews at some point, and have an affiliate link on there to make a little extra revenue for the organization. But yeah, we are going to be doing some things, branching out and interviewing people on the street and stuff. That's all coming. It's just one step at a time. This podcast, was a lot of work to set up, and now pretty much it's on autopilot. And as long as the shows go smooth, pre-recorded, we don't even have to do any editing because it's all done on the fly on OBS. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get everything all situated, and then we can move forward to the next thing. But that's not a bad idea. Whoosh, whoosh. Thank you. Wow, street interviews. Yeah, that would be great. That's why I'm in and out, but listening. Oh yeah, no worries, Amelia. All right, 52 in the box. Thank you so much for being here. I love all of you. Hope you learned a very valuable lesson today. Okay. You got to get over your embarrassment. Yes, we all do embarrassing things. We all fuck up, and some of the fuck ups we do are embarrassing, and we don't want to be known as a cheater. We don't want to be known, as a thief or anything like that. But the bottom line is, the moment that you own it and you stop being embarrassed and you just realize, hey, I'm human and I made a mistake, and you own it and you're public about it. If it happened publicly, that's when people will start to respect you again, and that's when you'll start to respect yourself again. You'll lose that shitty attitude you have, and you'll start treating people better, and they'll start treating you better as well. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.